Hello and welcome everyone. This is Mike. I'm the founder and CEO of SweetDash. This video is just one in a series of many videos that will be highlighting both new and current features. Be sure that you're subscribed on YouTube and following us on all social media to get the latest videos and updates about new and existing features. Alright, so let's get started. Okay, let's talk about platform branding. Alright, so platform branding, we'll break it down by section. We'll go through one at a time. Some of the items we will leave to the end of the video as additional information, but we won't slow down during the video. So, logo and preset themes. Okay, so the preset themes, these are just starting points for color combinations that you may or may not be able to use. They're just starting points, right? So everyone remember that. After you set this, you can then go here and make all the changes you want to the colors, and we'll cover that in a second. Okay, so let's just go back to the very beginning, the modern blue. Okay, now for the dashboard logo. So we're going to replace this logo with your logo. So by definition, this logo needs to be in what we call landscape format, and you'll see here the logo width should be 200 pixels and the max height should be 60 pixels, and SVGs can be used for this logo. SVG is a vector format, which means it can be expanded or made smaller in any percentage and it will still retain its full quality, as opposed to what's called a raster format, which is like a PNG file or a JPEG. Okay, so if you have an SVG that's properly sized and proportioned for this, then you probably already know what an SVG is. If you don't, then I can explain at the end of the video how you may be able to easily get an SVG of your current logo that may be currently in PNG or JPEG or something like that. Okay? But for now, let's go ahead and just put in a PNG file. We're going to select this. We're going to put in this logo. There it is. It fits in nicely. Now we're going to add a mobile-friendly logo. Also serves as the collapsed view logo. So let's add that in. We're going to select something like this. Usually 60 by 60 is a good size here, although any square format logo, usually an icon style logo, works well for this. And you can preview these things without actually saving in real time, okay? So now you have your logo and you have your mobile logo in place. Okay, let's move on to the next section. Let's move down to primary elements styling. Okay, so platform colors. So now you can change these colors. Remember that the theme was just a starting point. So let's go ahead and just emphasize that. So we're going to move to, say, redwood. Completely different than what we'll end up with. All right, and you'll see that the platform attempts to make a very nice color combination depending on what color you choose as the primary color. So watch how this works. If I was going to go down and choose another color, any color in here, it's going to try to make some complementary color combination, darker, lighter, in different places to fit whatever would look good with this primary color. So that's pretty slick, and it works pretty well. But you might want to choose a color from your logo. That's typically the way that a designer would approach this. So let's try a color picker in this case. And I'll just use one that I have in my system here. And I'm going to go over this logo, and I'm going to look for something in the logo that might be a nice complementary color to the logo. And I'll just choose this. Okay, so I copied it to my clipboard. And now I'll paste. And now we have this green color that fits nicely with the logo because it complements this color here. And I'm okay with this. This is fine. Primary nav color, we could use this. This is the text color. You can change all these. Let's leave it as white. You can change the nav items. Just these items if you wanted. Maybe you wanted to make them a some dark green to match or something like this possibly. It's all up to you. This is your preference. But now keep in mind that this is just the complementary colors that we try to calculate from your primary color, but maybe you don't want that, okay? And that's fine because that's where advanced platform colors comes in. Okay, so now from here, this is going to be the sidebar logo background, this is the sidebar avatar background, and the menu background. So you can do things like, oh, I just want to, say, darken this by a little bit more or a little bit less, see? Or you can lighten it by some amount, or if you just want to go completely custom and use a hex code, boom, you can change it to white. And a lot of people will do this because it matches this top and it really goes well with their logo, which looks good against a white background. So there's a tip. A lot of you might want to consider using this custom and all white there. Okay? And now the avatar background. Let's make it a little darker, say for example, okay? Anything you want. And same thing with the background. If you wanted to make it completely white, I don't know why you would, but you could. But there it is. You could lighten it, darken it. You could do whatever you like using these controls. So this means you can go darker or lighter from the chosen colors or calculated colors, or you could just go all custom and set your very own. So you can have custom colors by the hex code here, 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 and here. So this is complete customization in addition to the CSS that you would be able to add down below. Now this background color, you may like it, you may not. It's enabled. You can disable it, you can enable it, and you can do all the same things. You can make it lighter. You can say, let's make it just a little bit lighter, or a lot lighter, or not as light. Or you can go completely to custom and set it completely on your own. I don't know why you do that, but you can. All right, let's get down here. Okay, enable modern mode. This is just a switch that allows you to choose between these rounded corners on your avatars and buttons, or not rounded. So this is a little bit more modern in today's world. This was maybe a few years ago, but who knows? In a few years, this may be the most modern, and we'll have to modify modern mode or make some adjustments here. Either way, this is just a preference. It's only visual, makes no functionality changes. Okay. And that brings us to the registration page. So this one's kind of fun because this is the first experience when someone is entering your portal. They will always need to confirm their email address, set a password, and enter. So this registration page is the place where they do that for the first time. By default, it looks like this because it's just default SweetDash, okay? But we can change this. We can change the background image. We can change the colors. We can change the logo, everything to match your brand. So let's look at how that happens. Okay, we're back here in platform branding. And the first thing we want to do is set the registration page background image. And you'll see here that we suggest that background image be 2560 pixels by 1440. Now, if you can't get exactly that, if you don't understand how to get a big image and cut it down to exactly that size, crop it, then it's not really a huge deal, but you do want to make sure that the image is at least this big, and that will make sure it's big enough on large displays, retina displays, etc. At the end of this video, I'll recommend a couple of websites that you can go to get images like this that are free for your use and don't have any copyright implications, etc. But for now, let's go ahead and put an image in place. I'm going to click Select File here. I'm going to grab this image that I pre-selected. So now before we save, let's also look at the color controls, because what we're going to want to do, and we looked at the default one, login form has a box around it. We want to just make that a little bit closer to what we want it to be. We want it to match our brand. So let's just go up and grab this color, the primary color. And let's come back down here. I'm going to paste that primary color in the form background color. Okay, so now I have the color in, but these pickers also offer you the option to do opacity. So let me take the opacity down to something like 65%, like this. Okay, I'm going to paste that same color in here for the button color, and now I'm imagining that we'll have this background color, this login form background box, white text on top of that box, a green button with white text color. And I'm going to go ahead and scroll down now and save everything that we've done so far. Okay, so we have our dashboard logo, we have our platform colors, we have our advanced colors set into place, and now we have a registration background image and colors. Let's jump over to the registration page and see what that looks like. Okay, so here's the default, and now I'm just going to refresh. Okay, perfect. So now we have something that's a little more in line with our brand. Maybe some additional tweaking here. Maybe take this transparency down a little more. Or maybe darken this button to a darker color, this dark blue perhaps. So there's some options we can make here. But in general, this is much, much, much more in line with my brand. And this is what people will see on their way into the portal. And clearly, this kind of branding makes a big difference. Okay, let's head back to platform branding. All right, here we are back in platform branding. Let's take a scroll down to the next section, custom page loader. Okay, so between page loads, you can customize the loader that will show to your staff and to your clients. And just clicking here on the preview button will be the best example. So you'll see there's a little loader. Okay, so you could change that to any one of these that you like. That's one place to start. We could change the loader color to one that we have already on our clipboard and look at that. That's okay. We could lower the opacity here and see what that does. Okay, so there's some simple options, but let's do something a little more. If you want to use one of these options, that's fine, but if you want to use your own image, here you'll see that you can upload your own image. And I'm going to go ahead and do that. I have an image prepared for this use case. Okay, let's do that. All right, this is the loader that I have prepared. There it is. It kind of matches the aesthetic here. And now we'll just go ahead and just preview. Okay, that's getting somewhat more brand specific. Let's increase this to say 400. Let's make a rotating animation, and now let's look. Okay, now we're getting a little more interesting. And now let's do something like, let's set the background color of the what I would call a curtain that shows. Now let's look again. Okay, so that looks pretty nice. We have a nice custom loader that fits the aesthetic of the account, the brand. And let's go ahead and save, and then we'll start to look at these last three sections. All right, we're back here. So I did take a few minutes and found a better mobile-friendly logo that fits this aesthetic better. I did make another change to the animation. I added the fade effect here and then changed it to the beating effect, which, you know, it maybe is better, maybe it's not. These are for you to play with. One other thing to say here on the max width, there's a loader width and there's a max width, okay? So you can have a loader width of 400 pixels, which would be something like a desktop, but also you want to set something like a max width for mobile friendliness in the sense that this 400 pixels will take up the entire screen of a mobile device, but this will set a max width and keep that from happening. And maybe something like 80 is a little more appropriate depending on the size of your custom loader that you're using. All right, let's scroll down here. And now let's look at the advanced section, white label branding controls, and the template library. Okay, so remember we are in platform branding, and that means that any custom CSS that you add here will take effect throughout the entire platform on every page. Okay, so anything you add here is on every page in the platform, except for, there's one exception, the login page, which is handled separately. All right, same thing with custom.js if you need to use that. Typically, this is where you might add something like a chat bot or Google Analytics or something of that nature. Usually you are given the code and you just paste it in here. That's 95% of you out there. Some other 5% that understand how to use this in more complex ways, it's here for you to use. Below that is a set of controls we call white label branding controls. And these are designed for those of you out there who are working with clients, and your client is using SweetDash for their organization and you are helping them with it, or you resold it to them, or for whatever reason you want to prevent them from seeing certain options, and also you are not really involved in their day-to-day business. So the first of these is hide white label options, and you'll see it in the note. Just read the notes here. Basically this prevents them from seeing platform branding, email branding, custom URL, and those things. Only the super admin will see those in the case that you activate this setting. This one is hide super admin, and essentially the user here, your user as the super admin, will not show for them when they go to add projects or assign tasks. In the selectors where they select assignments, the super admin will not show there, okay? And then this one is just hiding this ask link that you see down here from anybody except for the super admin, and that's all explained here. So these are very simple, but also very powerful in the way they enable agencies or technical consultants to recommend the platform and work with their clients to deploy the platform for their particular needs. But at the same time, you are able to keep a level of control that prevents them from breaking things or interfering with their day-to-day activities using the platform. And then here at the bottom is the template library. Okay, so this is enabled by default. You will find it in your flyout menu here, and we can go there in a second just to take a quick look. But definitely spend some time exploring the template library. There are a lot of great examples in there of many of our components. You will find, I think, that it will be very helpful to you as you get started. The purpose of these settings is essentially the same as the purpose of these settings. It's to allow you to fine-tune the template library in the way it appears to your clients or to your staff, so that you are able to profit from using the platform as part of your business without making it glaringly obvious that you are using a third-party platform software to power their portal. Most times the client doesn't care anyway. They just want you to do the work for them. They want it to function the way that you describe. But sometimes with clients, when they see things in the platform, they start asking questions, they start wondering, it makes things more difficult for you. And these controls just help you fine-tune the way the template library is presented, so that you may have the option of letting your clients see the template library and use it without giving away too much or without causing them to ask too many questions. These settings are here to help you to make the platform flexible enough that you can use it in your business in the way that best suits you. Okay, so that fully covers all of platform branding. We've looked at each part in detail. We've covered some of the more common misunderstandings. So hopefully that's very helpful. I'm really glad to see all of you investing the time in your business, doing the work, so that you can create something amazing and get your life back. Good job. Keep it up. You can do it. I'm here to help. Thanks, everyone. See you in the next one.